I'm Kenn Shaw, and this is my submission to be. I'm Kenn Shaw. Showed up. That's a most. And this is my submission.
No, more energy.
Okay. I feel something rumbling here. It's as if you guys came at the right time. No, that was wrong. Perfect time. As if it was planned. It's a perfect time. As if you guys came at the right time. What is it? I'm Kenn Shaw, and this is my submission to be Budweiser's Chief Hockey Officer. Welcome to the Ultimate Hockey Fan Cave. There's something rumbling in the Zamboni here. You guys came at the right time, as if it was planned. I think she's about to give birth. Talk to me. What's happening? What's happening?
See it, Shaw! Let's take a look! Ah! The water broke! The water broke! It's the Zamboni! It's the baby Zamboni! Get down here! Get down! It's twins!
It's twins! I can't believe it!
It's Zamboni!
I've always wanted twins!
Oh my god! Oh my god! You know what? I think you could use a couple bucks.
Oh, absolutely! This bucks for you. I'm Kenn Shaw. I'm a construction laborer for over 50 years. I'm a blue-collar worker. It burns you out. It's a tough gig, but the thing that makes me happiest is when I come to the cave or come home and I start working on hockey stick creations.
How do you feel you demonstrate a clear passion or fandom for your Chicago Blackhawks?
Wow, how do I explain that? Hi, my name is Kenn Shaw. I'm from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, and I want to be Budweiser's Chief Hockey Officer. I've been a hockey fan since the age of 7 when my father introduced me to the game. My fandom for my Chicago Blackhawks obviously started when I was 10 years old when I met Tony Esposito, and I talked to him for about 10 minutes, and he was here in Victoria at the time, and I started cheering for the Blackhawks then, and I collected a lot of their memorabilia. I tried to go to their games whenever they're in Vancouver, and I've been cheering for them for over 50 years, and I introduced my kids to them. One of them loves the Blackhawks, the other one loves the Vancouver Canucks. I'm such a Hawks fan that when we built the Ultimate Hockey Fan Cave, we wanted to showcase one section just dedicated to the Blackhawks. I didn't want to go everything Blackhawks because then it wouldn't be, nobody could come in here that weren't Blackhawks fans. So we have one section dedicated to Blackhawks, and the other section is dedicated to every other team you cheer for. What I have up in there is a signed autographed jersey of Tony Esposito, some great photos of Tony Esposito because I was a big fan of his when I was growing up. I think I demonstrate a fandom for my Chicago Blackhawks is that everybody has jerseys, signed sticks, signed pictures, but I don't think anybody has their own national anthem singer. What we did, we made a decal, we mounted them on plywood, we have a motorized windshield wiper motor on the back, so when we plug them in and the national anthem is being played on the Chicago feed, we plug him in and he raises his hand just like he does on the ice surface, his signature move. I don't think anybody has this in the world, and this is how I cheer for my Blackhawks. Another special piece I have in the Blackhawks nest is a brick from the original Chicago Stadium. This was given to me by a friend of mine in Seattle that figured the best home for it would be here. And I was very proud and very emotional when he gave me this brick, and it sits proudly in the Hawks nest. So as for my Chicago Blackhawks, I can only get to Vancouver occasionally to see the Blackhawks play the Canucks. I had never been to the United Center ever in my life until 2 years ago. Walking into the United Center that evening, it was the gentleman that I was there with, he looked back at me and he said, "Ken, you're home." And it was so emotional, I broke down in tears.
We're here with the Shaws, Ken and Landon, a little emotional right now. About to go into the United Center for the first time ever.
59 years.
First time in 59 years.
That's stupid.
I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. It was an experience that it was so amazing. The people of Chicago, the building, the atmosphere, the hype. If I become Budweiser's chief hockey officer, I would like to do the same thing that gentleman did for me when I went to my first Hawks game, how emotional I was, and I'd like to do that for other people, more or less pay it forward. I find that truly giving back and doing good things happen. So one of the most amazing things that I did for somebody, it was so unique, so wild, so crazy, I still can't believe it happened. Back in 2001, I believe, I met a gentleman at a Quiznos having a coffee with him. He was a 75-year-old man and we started talking hockey. Love talking hockey, people. Well, this gentleman said he won the Stanley Cup with the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 1948-49. And I just humored him and I said, "Sure you did." Well, anyway, I kind of called his bluff and I said, "Could I see you here the following Sunday?" Went out to Quiznos again with my young son and I met him for a coffee and he showed me his Calder Cup ring, Memorial Cup ring, and his Stanley Cup ring from 1948-49. I was blown away. And I said to him, "Why don't people know that you live in this city? You're a Stanley Cup champion." He was such a kind gentleman. He just looked at me and goes, "Who wants to know?" I said, "I do. It's amazing." I saw it read in the paper they were taking the Stanley Cup to Howie Meeker's home. So I looked at my wife and I said, "You know what? They're taking the cup around to the old boys who never had their 24 hours with it." So I phoned the Hockey Hall of Fame. I somehow stumbled across and got a hold of Phil Pritchard. And I said to him, "I see you're bringing the cup to Howie Meeker's place." I said, "We live about an hour and a half away. And there's a gentleman that won it in 1948-49. His name is Harry Taylor. And he's never had his day with it." So sent Phil a quick email. He sends me a quick one back. He says, "How about we bring it the next day?" On July 25th, 2005, the cup comes to my place. So I go to this gentleman's house, this apartment, when now he's 79. I said, "You remember me having a coffee 4 years ago?" And he didn't. And I said, "What are you doing July 25th of this year?" And he says, "I think I have a family reunion in Winnipeg." And I said, "Well, I think you might have to cancel it." So basically I told him the story that I got you the Stanley Cup. I got you the Stanley Cup. I got you the Stanley Cup. His wife started shaking and she said, "Our apartment's too small." And I said, "I'd be honored to host it for you." We had the whole backyard decked out with a cake that said when Harry met Stanley. We had paraphernalia and this rookie card. And Harry shows up that morning at 10:30 in the morning, comes around the corner of the house, and we crank on the Hockey Night Ken, the theme song. He walks down towards me and I said, "Harry, there's your old friend waiting to see you again."
Well, I played in 48-49, and gee, here it is 50 years later. And I'm getting a chance to hug it, drink water out of it.
His son also came from Winnipeg, was behind him, and he didn't know this was going on. And he looked at the cup, he looked at me, broke down in tears, everybody's hugging. It was such an amazing day. And we had the media here later on. And basically, I just loved seeing the look on his family's face. None of them knew that Stanley Cup was here except for me and Harry and his wife. Sadly, 2 years after that, Harry passed away. And I phoned the Toronto Maple Leafs organization and I got a hold of somebody there that was kind enough, and I explained who passed away. And I said, "It was one of your Stanley Cup champions." And I said, "On behalf of the Taylor family, would you be so kind to send them something on behalf of the Maple Leafs?" Huge bouquet of flowers to the Taylor residence out in Sydney. And then this gentleman from the Leafs says, "We'll do you one better. We're going to put his picture up on the Jumbotron against the Washington Capitals that night." But unfortunately, we had no feed here at the time. There was no center ice package or anything like that, so we didn't see it. Such a great day. I'll never forget it.
So how do you and the Ultimate Hockey Fan Cave showcase hockey bringing you and friends together?
Welcome to the Ultimate Hockey Fan Cave. don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't golf. I just live and breathe hockey. The reason why I built the Ultimate Hockey Fan Cave is that we live on Vancouver Island, and to go catch an NHL game over in Vancouver, you have to pay for the ferry, pay for accommodations, pay for gas, pay for food, pay for spirits when you're at the game. It just got too expensive. So free tickets cost me about $1,000, and that was crazy. So this is why I decided to build this cave, bring buds together, and watch the best game on earth. When we started building the Ultimate Hockey Fan Cave, friends from work would come by and say, "What are you up to?" And I said, "Well, I'm bringing the game to me." And well, all of a sudden it started taking a life. So the word went out I needed a window. A buddy came by with a brand new window. I always need primer paint. Well, buddies, hey, we got lots of primer paint in the garage. They brought it over. Friends and family were giving their time and labor and material to help build this. It went on for a long time, like 3 years we're building this. So I kept a list of people donating paint, donating screws, donating their time when we poured the concrete. At the end of it all, I decided to put their name on one of our 2-foot tall replica Stanley Cups. So all their names on here, all the people that helped build this, donated time, their labor, just for the love of the game, and now they forever have their name on the cup. We had a big party for them, all the buds, and we drank out of this, and it was a momentous day. The day I'll never forget. It was a lot of fun. And I want to thank everybody that helped me build this cave.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I've been drinking Bud since the 70s. I'm doing a commercial. I've been drinking Bud since the 70s, I can guarantee you that. And ironically enough, as the years rolled on, in the 80s, I got a dog. He was a German Shepherd Black Lab dog. And what did I call him? Budweiser. And this is the truth. Well, sadly, he was born in 82, and sadly he died at 11 years of age, tragically, in 93. And I don't want to get into that. But I cared so much for that boy that I put him in an urn here, a Stanley Cup urn, and he always, sometimes when things go bump in here or we lose a pen or something, I figure it's Bud doing something in here. But his ashes are in this, and I don't know if you can see, his name was Budweiser Shaw, and it says faithful to the end. And this boy's protecting this building. That's how long I've been a Bud fan, and I named my dog after Budweiser. This Bud's for you, right? Oh. That's where you still chose me.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
I built over 110 things out of broken hockey sticks and hockey equipment. For instance, hockey helmet lights above the bar, obviously hockey coffee tables, lamps, stools, benches, giant goalie sticks. And one of the things I'm very proud of, I don't think anybody really has, is we did a complete floor in hockey stick shafts. In this main area and up behind me in the Hawk's Nest, there's 1,733 hockey stick shafts used for the floor. What we did, we kept all these hockey sticks, I would say over 6,000 total, maybe more, out of the landfill. And we gave them a new life. We recycled them. We kept them on the landfill. We gave planet Earth an assist. Well, the video's finally done. I want to thank Budweiser for their consideration of being their chief hockey officer. We're putting out an open invitation to Budweiser and their partners. The things in this building and my passion for this game have been built, not bought. This place is so unique that you have to come here and hear the stories. And we actually created a product that were out on the market about a year ago that we're trying to make hockey our life. All the people that put their videos in and trying to win this, all I gotta say is, hey guys, this Bud's for all of us. Cheers. Wait.
Cut. That's a wrap.
Finally.
Finally, we're done. At least it wasn't a long one.